What's going on, YouTube, Facebook, subscribers, and viewers of this video? Bill Mack here once again with another edition of Pro Wrestling Unleashed. I'm here today for Impact Wrestling Wrap-Up. This is for June the 1st, 2017. Hope you folks are enjoying the video so far. Sorry I haven't been doing quite a bit here the last week or two. Just had a lot going on, but I'm bringing you Impact for this week. For those of you who have missed the video, missed the actual show, want a short video on how, the results and things happen, I'm your guy here for that. So hope you enjoyed this. So as we had a lot of things going on here, matchups. We had the finals for the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Tournament, as we had LAX taking on the VOW. A lot to cover in this matchup, so let's basically get right on into it. First, we have EC3 in the ring. As you remember, last week there was a triple threat for the #1 contendership. The winner of that match will go on to Slammiversary and take on Bobby Lashley. EC3 managed to come out on top, victorious in that matchup, thanks to James Storm with his last call kick on Magnus. So EC3 is in the ring. He has this barbershop quartet out there, and they're singing all these, different songs. They even sing his theme song, Trouble, for a minute, which I think was kind of funny. But El Patron comes out, Alberto El Patron, which is the Global Force Wrestling Champion. He comes out, and before he can get into the ring, Bruce Pritchard and Impact Wrestling Management comes out, and he tells them that if they want to fight so bad that we're not going to let the inmates run the asylum, that we're going to have a matchup tonight. Alberto El Patron has to take his Global Force Wrestling heavyweight title, put it on the line against EC3. EC3 has to take his #1 contendership and put it on the line. So EC3, either guy can gain everything or lose everything. So that was the matchup, and that will be your main event for later on in the night. And on top of that, he says it's going to be a steel cage match. So this will be interesting in seeing what transpires as we get later into the matchups. First, we have a Grand Championship title matchup between Moose, who is the current Impact Grand Champion, taking on Eli Drake. And this was a good matchup. I did, however, see some things kind of that didn't agree with me. Let's just say the first round, both guys were kind of split to me. Moose, however, because Moose started out strong, showing his power with clotheslines and throwing Eli Drake from one way across on one side of the ring across the other. Then Eli Drake took the second half of that round, and he basically started working on the leg of Moose. And Moose's initial offensive was enough that Eli Drake's was enough that he worked on the leg. I felt like Eli Drake won that round, and Eli Drake, however, does win round 1. So I agree with that. Second round of the matchup, we see Eli Drake still continue to work onto that leg. And for me, at least 2 to 3 minutes out of that matchup, Eli Drake was on top. The Moose came back the last 30 seconds or so with a few power moves, and somehow the judges judged that Moose would win second round. I didn't agree with that. I think Eli Drake had dominated the round. He dominated the round in that particular one, and even though Moose did get some power moves off there near the end, the majority of the round, I felt like Eli Drake. So I think he kind of got hosed on that one, but they gave the round to Moose. So as usual, we have our 1 round to 1 round. So the final matchup, this, folks, it could have went either way, because I didn't see really either competitor really dominate over the other. So to me, it was basically they gave it to Moose in round 3. I couldn't really have judged that round, because to me, both guys were just really, there's a lot of filling out, a lot of back and forth, and really I didn't see one wrestler dominate over the other. So Moose ends up winning 2 to 3 rounds and retaining his Grand Championship. So that starts us off in Impact. So we go to break, we come back, and we flash back to last week when Allie gets beat down, and we see Rosemary comes in and makes the save against Laura Van Ness and Sienna, which were double teaming Allie. Allie questions why. Rosemary comes out and she just makes this eerie explanation, and she says, "Don't worry, we'll be watching you. We'll take care of you. You need the voice of those that need help, cry out, and that's what we're here for." So just who is weird, but she gives that explanation to Allie in the back as we come back. So then we come back once again after the break, and we see it's an Impact Knockouts matchup between a newcomer, Amber Nova, taking on Allie. Now, Amber goes out in the offensive first part of this matchup. You know, she's getting a lot of moves on Allie. Allie really doesn't have a lot of offense in this matchup, but Allie ends up getting the victory by hitting a Death Valley driver on Amber Moon, and like she just goes bananas and she's hugging Braxton. She hugs the referee. She even hugs Amber Moon, and like a kid winning winning a free lifetime supply of candy. That's just how she reacted to it. And I guess that's her character. She's innocent Allie, I guess is what you would call that. So Allie picks up the victory in a knockout women's matchup. So up next, we have the Impact. This is for the you have the Impact Tag Team Champions LAX taking on the Veterans War to VOW, which is Wilcox and Mayweather. This is for the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team titles. Now, LAX from the get-go, and folks, most of this matchup used the numbers game because this is supposed to be anything goes match, but for the most part, LAX Homicide, even Diamante, she came in at one point, and they basically kept Wilcox down a lot of the matchup, left Mayweather to be isolated in. The numbers game was a big factor this whole matchup through everything, and basically you saw Mayweather try to put some offense in. Wilcox tried to come in, but the numbers game was just too much, and the ending saw LAX putting the street sweeper on Mayweather and getting the 1-2-3. Now LAX have both the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championships and the Global Force Wrestling Tag Team Championships. So LAX is again getting up all the gold that they possibly can. And in this matchup, like I said, it really wasn't a matchup because no matter what Wilcox and Mayweather tried, LAX was just too powerful. At one point, we see Conan hit Wilcox in the back of the leg with either a bat or a pipe while he's on the outside trying to fend off the rest of LAX. So this was just a game-style numbers game in this matchup. So LAX wins. We come back from break. We see the beautiful, beautiful Mackenzie Mitchell, and she's interviewing JB and Josh Park. And Josh Park, which was not Josh, excuse me, Joseph Park. Joseph Park. Basically, it has to give JB a pep talk about their tag team matchup at Slammiversary on July 2nd versus Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, who was the mystery partner for Josh Matthews, who will be his partner in this. And JB is just he's just real worried about it. Joseph Park says, we're going to train as a tag team starting now. We're going to do that. So this is where we see basically they're going to, I guess, train the building up to Slammiversary in a little over a month within the pay-per-view. So we see this segment is after that. We see Sanjay Dutt come down, join Josh Matthews and the Pope at the announce booth, and he cuts the storyline of it, talks different things while he talks about he's one of the best X Division guys never to have the title, and his little bit of a feud with the guy in the matchup for the upcoming X Division matchup, which we have Low-Key. He's taking on Adam Everett, and he's talking about how he feels like Low-Key is getting Low-Key is basically getting a lot of the, he don't give him a lot of credit because he feels like his eye injury, which he has, which Sanjay Dutt comes out with a patch over his eye. He feels like that's the problem. So we see basically this going on. The Adam Everett versus Low-Key was a decent matchup. Low-Key was really overpowering. He kept the pace. Adam Everett likes to jump. He's quick. He likes doing the stuff off the top. But Low-Key kind of kept him subdued the whole matchup. Low-Key worked on him below the bottom. Now, we did see a few things happen with Everett. He tried a Hurricane Rana on Low-Key into the middle turnbuckle, but it just was no matchup. Low-Key just totally dominated him in this matchup. So Low-Key ends up getting double drop kick into Adam Everett, who hits the turnbuckle. Then he hits the double stomp off the top. 1, 2, 3. Low-Key celebrates with the championship win. So this is basically what happens, and we'll continue on and just take a slight break, and we'll be right back. So we come back and we see Rockstar Spud, and we've seen Swoggle throughout the night in the behind the barrier and with the fans. And out of nowhere, Rockstar Spud attacks Swoggle. Remember last week he said all he needed was one more week and he would come back and get his revenge on Swoggle. So then we see Rockstar Spud takes Swoggle to the end into the ring, or the outside of the ring, from within the fans the barrier. He goes through it, and then he reaches underneath the ring. Lo and behold, he finds a hammer, very same hammer. Remember that Swoggle took to Rockstar Spud just a few weeks ago. So then he starts beating on the knee and the leg of Swoggle. He then takes it. I don't know if he's dragging it. I don't know if it's in his mouth or in his face because you couldn't see it, but he had it like right at his face, and then you see some blood. So I don't know if he got him in the mouth or the eye or where. Josh Matthews says the eyes, so I'll have to take it as that being the eye. But Swoggle and the referees and stuff are trying to get it to break it up, and Swoggle's laying down there, and Rockstar Spud's mad, was upset and trying to get his revenge. So then we see Rockstar Spud go up the ramp and go to the back, limping as he's still injured from the attack from Swoggle from some weeks back. So that kind of goes to commercial. We come back. Now's the main event, the Six Sides of Steel matchup. This is for Alberto El Patron, the Global Force Wrestling Champion, taking on EC3, which is the #1 champion, to go against Bobby Lashley for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Remember, whoever wins gets both. They get the #1 contendership and they have the title. Good matchup here. Alberto El Patron has the good support of the crowd behind him. He basically unloads on EC3 at the very beginning, and we see it going back and forth. At one point, El Patron makes the first attempt to escape over the top, because remember, you can go over the top, you can go through the door, or you can get a pin. That's the only way you can win the matchup. So Alberto El Patron, he basically throughout the matchup, he tried at certain points to get out. EC3 only had maybe once that he tried to get out. We see a few spots here happen, like a spinning DDT, where El Patron catches EC3 off the top rope, which looked pretty good, as that's one of your typical top rope moves as he was going to the top. We also see EC3 hit Alberto El Patron when they were both on top of the cage side by side. He gets El Patron up on his shoulders, does a Samoan drop off the top rope, which was a good spot. Just shows you the power that EC3 has, which I thought was really good. Then we see EC3 face plant El Patron, but El Patron kicks out at the count of 2. Then we end up seeing the matchup comes right down to it after basically El Patron and EC3 are on top. EC3 ends up getting the double stomp from El Patron because he's hanging from the top rope backwards, and he's trying to hold up with the ropes. El Patron does the double stomp on him. He gets EC3's legs untangled, drags him to the other side, and then he gets on top of the rope on the other side against the cage, top of the cage, does a leapfrog onto it. 1, 2, 3. Here you have your new #1 contender, Alberto El Patron. He will head into Slammiversary to take on Lashley for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, as he is still the Global Force Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. So we see those two champions collide at Slammiversary. Who knows what will happen next week, as next week they go to, like I said, these next few weeks they'll be in India, having their shows and stuff in India leading up to Slammiversary, which again, it will be July 2nd on pay-per-view. I'll try to have the results and things for you folks for that matchup when it gets here, and that pay-per-view when it gets here. But I hope you enjoy my videos. Drop a like if you do. Subscribe to my channel if you don't, if you want to. If you have any ideas, hit comments on there. I'll do whatever and read over them and do what I can. I hope you folks have enjoyed it. Sorry, like I said, it's just been such a busy week the last week or two, but I'll try to get back on these results for you, and I'll bring another video to you. So I hope you folks have enjoyed the results, enjoyed the video, and until next time, this is Bill Mack with Pro Wrestling Unleashed. Take it easy.